Brad, just your thoughts on getting started with NCHC play?
Yeah, no, we're excited about doing that. I know some teams in our league are already into the NCHC season. We're just starting it right now, and our concentration was on the non-conference games that we've had to this point, and now we're excited about getting going here. It's always a journey, 24 games of a gauntlet of a grind, and it starts this weekend. And the good thing is we've been on the road. We've been at home all of October. Got on the road to BU, so we know what that looks like as far as travel, as far as playing on the road, and now we take it up another level in the NCHC on a road trip.
What did you think of how your team handled the first road trip?
Yeah, no, I thought there's a little bit of adversity in a lot of different areas. For penalties in the first game, and having a lead, and then getting a game that's tied up going into the third period. So we've faced a lot. I thought we played well enough to win 2 games this past weekend, but at the end of the day, we came away with 1. And our focus is again going to be on Friday night, and knowing that there's going to be ebbs and flows of the games, and knowing that we have to battle adversity and get through. And our guys did a pretty good job in Boston, a tough place to play.
Are there any things you guys need to key on this weekend and do well in order to have a successful weekend?
Yeah, I think just consistently, we're a 4-line team, 6 defensemen that are playing, and consistently, have those performances from our guys. I think some guys have taken a step. Ben Strand and Carson Albrecht. I know Dylan James had a really good weekend as well. In Boston. And then obviously you have the guys that are on the power play and kind of in the skill positions where having a consistent effort through a 60-minute game starting on Friday.
Their power play is at like 37% or something. How do you guys try to slow them down?
Well, first is discipline, right? At the end of the day, of trying to not take 5 or 6 penalties, try to, if you have to, 2 or 3 penalties, but at the end of the day, of limiting their looks on the power play. And then once they're on the power play, as far as making sure that we have a focus of trying to pressure at the right times, of trying to win that initial draw to get a clear, trying to situation of taking time and space away for some of the guys that are threats on the power play. They've been doing a good job, and they've been capitalizing at a high rate. And again, we got to try to make sure that we have a focus when we get to that.
Does it help at all that you guys just had to defend the left shot in the right circle with Celebrini, and they kind of do the same with Steves?
Yeah, for sure. And obviously Steves is in that spot, but they have other threats on their power play as well that you have to be aware of. But yeah, for sure. And I think shot blocking is a big deal. At the end of the day, you wrote an article about that this week as far as our forwards and our D, sacrificing their bodies. And you have to have a safe, right? Usually your best penalty killer is your goaltender, but you do have to have guys that are in shot lanes and doing the things you have to do to prevent those chances.
How has Keaton Pearson looked this week?
He's in. He's all in.
Is he? He's skated for a couple weeks now. What things can he add when he's in the lineup for you guys?
Yeah, I think a good first pass, a guy that defends extremely well, a guy that's a leader that's been in a lot of big games. He's in Michigan for a number of years, playing in some big games and those big moments. And I think just the leadership side. He's wearing a letter for a reason in our group that our guys appointed him to be one of our captains, and a guy that through the good and the not so good of a game. That can calm things down and inspire too, as far as to get to another level.
Do you guys have some tough roster decisions with travel being limited this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely we do. This is the first road trip where we are limited to a 23-man roster. We have 26 on our roster. We only can take 23, but our protocol usually is we just finish practice and we usually go through the day here through the first part of the afternoon just to make sure. And when you tell a guy he's not going on the trip and then you got to say, oh, you know what, somebody's hurt, you're going. We'd rather do it the situation where we know comprehensively that guys are ready to go and everybody is available, ready to go, and then we'll make that decision here early afternoon.
You got to be happy, though, at this point of the season, especially conference play, that injuries aren't as big as an issue they were a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're starting to get some guys back now, and you can see in practice, too, that's healthy, for competition reasons, for execution reasons. It kind of pushes the bar a little bit, and it's nice to have, everybody available and back. And, I think Mark Pullman and his group have done a great job of trying to, help speed that along as far as, those injuries, getting guys back to full health.
What do you have to say about your team's 5-on-5 play, especially this season?
It's a lot better than it was this time last year. And at the end of the day, it's about everybody buying in. You talk about the shot blocks, you talk about the commitment to defense, and that's a big deal. It's just not one or two guys on a line or a D pair. It's everybody doing it on the same page and doing it consistently. And Brad just asked, what do you got to do this weekend? Consistency is a big thing, and that's probably an area. It is an area where we have to be strong.
No stranger to winning Penrose Cups. What's kind of the message to start strong for your team this year in conference play?
Just a game at a time, period at a time, shift at a time, really breaking it down. Brought the guys early together in this week of practice on Tuesday morning on our practice, and pointed up to our NCAA or our league championship, regular season championship banners, and just pointed at it's a journey, it's a process. It's just not one weekend. It starts this weekend, but it continues on, and it's a gauntlet of 24 games that you have to have success. But the way you have success is breaking it down really into small segments, and it's a segment this weekend starting Friday night.
Thank you. So, Coach, being able to get those 3 points and be able to get that win in overtime against Boston on the road and now go into this other road series against Duluth, what did that mean and feel as a team to be able to just get that win, even being in overtime, and get those points on the road?
Yeah, well, a couple different things. The response, right? The resiliency, the response of coming back on a Saturday after losing on Friday. Specialty teams were a big factor on Friday on us not getting the result, and know we have to be better on that area. I thought Saturday, knowing that we have some resiliency and we responded to it and getting the win. And it was tough. At the end of the day, we're up 3-1 with 3 minutes left in the second period. They score a couple goals to tie it. Now we're going in the locker room tied. Now we're playing a 20-minute game. And our guys found a way to win, albeit in overtime, but they found a way to win. And having that confidence that you can finish games that way.
So now you transition into another road game, and you won't have back-to-back road series until February. And so what's sort of it like, at least mentally, to be able to get these back-to-back road series and continue the solid play?
Well, again, like I said, it's a mentality of knowing that, on the road. Sometimes when you go on the road, you play a simpler game, it seems like. At the end of the day, you call them road games or road warriors, or guys that are willing to do anything to try to win a game. And I think sometimes you simplify your game, and that's what we're going to have to do, is make sure we play a North game and we simplify our game here to get our feet under us and to get momentum in the series here. And playing back to back, I know that it's usually you're at home one weekend and on the road the next weekend. It doesn't change it the way we look at it. We know we were at home for the bulk of October, a couple weekends on the road, and we're back here again, but we can't get ahead of ourselves. We got to finish the road trip.
Coach, getting off to a good start this season was a big talking point. Are you happy with how your team got through the non-conference schedule? Where do you think guys are at?
Well, I think, I don't know if I want to say happy. I think we are where we are, right? I believe it's 5-2-1, and I think as a coach and even as a player, I think you wish you were 8-0 or closer to that. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing for us as a staff and as a team is how we're playing. At the end of the day, our record's our record because we played pretty consistent as a group here. And I think that's going to have to be the way going forward here, is you don't really look at your record. You just kind of try to pile up games on playing consistent hockey and letting the results take care of itself. So, again, like I said, wish we were 8-0 or 5-2-1. And at the end of the day, we just got to keep playing a consistent brand of hockey to give us a chance to have a good record.
Brad, you've been involved at every level of hockey from NHL on down. I was listening to Tim Hennessy's interview last Saturday with Jackson Blake. And we all know the high rate of speed that he plays at, the skill he has. But he said something on Tim's interview. Tim asked him to break down the play, and he's, the speed that he came across the blue line. But he said he noticed that the first player was a forward and not a defenseman, and that he was flat-footed. I mean, how rare is it for a player of that caliber to notice that at the speed that he's coming in? Is that common or rare or what?
Yeah, Virg, that's a great question. And at the end of the press conference, after he spoke, I spoke, and I have a one word for him: elite. He's elite in a lot of different areas, and elite is not only his God-given ability on the ice as far as creating plays, shooting and passing and different things, but hockey sense. Like, at the end of the day, either you have a high level, you have a mid level, or you have a very low level of hockey sense. He's got an elite high level of hockey sense. And for a guy coming very fast down the ice to get your head up, to not only know where the defender's at, where you can penetrate, but also at the end of the day of who you're going against and seeing number 11 on a jersey.
Yeah.
That's elite hockey sense.